Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at something that I know keeps a lot of you up at night,
Mm.
and that is crypto market manipulation.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that feeling that some shadowy forces out there, just like playing Puppet Master with all of our favorite coins.
Hmm.
Remember our deep dive on, mentioned a previous episode topic related to market trends or suspicious activity.
Right.
Yeah. Well, today we're going even deeper. We're
Yep.
going to be like really unpacking how manipulation works, why crypto is especially vulnerable, and most importantly, what you can do to protect yourself. Hit that like button if you've ever just stared at a chart
Yeah.
and been like, wait a second, is this rigged?
It's funny because people often think of manipulation as something unique to crypto, but the reality is it's been happening in financial markets like forever.
Right. Like it's not exactly breaking news that like Wall Street plays dirty.
Exactly. One of the most blatant examples, I think, happened a few years back in the foreign exchange market, Forex. You had these major banks, think Barclays, JP Morgan, the heavy hitters, colluding to manipulate exchange rates. They were literally like coordinating trades, sharing confidential client information to move the market in their favor.
So basically, the institutions we're supposed to trust were running a giant price fixing scheme.
Totally.
Sounds familiar. But how does this relate to crypto? Is it the same game, just with different players?
Well, the tactics are similar, but crypto has a few unique vulnerabilities that make it even more susceptible to manipulation. For starters, it's still relatively new and unregulated, which means that Wild West analogy you often hear actually kind of fits.
It's the Wild West, but with laser eyes and Lambos.
Right, exactly. And this lack of clear regulation creates an environment that is just ripe for exploitation. Plus, crypto markets are often much less liquid than traditional markets, which means it takes less capital to move prices.
Hmm.
A whale with a few $1,000,000 can have a much bigger impact than they could in, say, the stock market.
So less regulation, more volatility. It's basically a manipulator's dream playground. But let's get down to like brass tacks here. What are some specific examples of how this manipulation actually plays out in the crypto markets?
Well, one area where we've seen a lot of, shall we say, questionable activity is in the world of meme coins. Remember the Trump coin frenzy back in 2021?
Oh, yeah. 2 days before the inauguration.
Yeah.
Talk about perfect timing. The chart was wild. It was a massive pump followed by an even bigger dump.
Yeah.
Wasn't there some kind of exploit involved?
Right. One savvy trader reportedly made millions by exploiting a loophole in the smart contract. Essentially, they were able to manipulate the token distribution mechanism to acquire a huge chunk of the supply and then dump it on everyone who FOMO'd in after seeing the hype.
Classic rug pull.
It's kind of amazing how meme coins, which started as a joke, can become these macro shock events that move millions, if not billions of dollars.
Yeah.
It's like the entire world decided to play a high-stakes game of musical chairs, and someone keeps removing the chairs when the music stops. And it highlights how manipulation, even on decentralized exchanges, can impact the entire crypto ecosystem. It's not just about losing money on a meme coin. It's about eroding trust in the system as a whole.
That's a great point. Speaking of trust, or the lack thereof, let's talk about the concept of smart money. This is where it gets really interesting, folks. Hit that subscribe button if you want to learn how to spot these whales and maybe even outsmart them.
So smart money, it's a term used to describe like the big players in the market, the whales, the institutions, those with, deep pockets, and even deeper knowledge of how things work.
Okay, so we're talking about like the sharks in the crypto ocean.
Right.
But what makes them so smart? Is it just about having a ton of money to throw around?
Well, it's definitely about having capital to leverage, but it's also about information and strategy. Smart money players, they use sophisticated tools to analyze order books, track on-chain data, and understand market sentiment. They can often anticipate moves before they happen, which gives them a huge advantage.
It's like they're playing chess
Yeah,
while everyone else is playing checkers.
that's a good analogy. They're thinking several steps ahead, planning their moves and setting traps for less experienced traders. One common tactic is targeting key price levels, where they know a lot of stop-loss orders are placed. So by driving the price down to those levels, they trigger a cascade of sell orders, which pushes the price even lower, and then they can buy in at a discount.
So it's not just about pumping and dumping. It's about understanding the psychology of the market and like exploiting those predictable patterns.
Well-
But is all this technically legal? Where's the line between savvy trading and outright manipulation?
That's a great question, and that's where things get a little murky. The definition of manipulation can be quite subjective. Some argue that any attempt to artificially influence prices is unethical, while others believe it's just part of the game, a natural consequence of a free market.
I feel like in crypto, the lines get even blurrier. It's like the Wild West out there.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to be aware of these tactics, even if you can't always tell for sure if it's intentional manipulation or just the market being the market.
Right, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if it's malicious or not. The outcome is still the same.
Right.
Someone's getting liquidated,
Right.
and it's usually not the smart money folks.
Exactly. So the key takeaway here is that the crypto market, even more so than traditional markets, is a battlefield. And if you want to survive, you need to be prepared.
So how do we level the playing field? Do we need to all become blockchain sleuths and masterminds of technical analysis?
Well, it doesn't hurt to educate yourself, but there are some practical steps you can take to protect yourself, even if you're not a seasoned trader.
Give us the goods. What are the secrets to surviving the crypto jungle? Hit that like button and subscribe if you want to learn how to avoid getting eaten alive out there.
First and foremost, you have to manage your risk. Don't go all in on any trade, no matter how tempting it seems. Seriously, even if your gut is screaming, buy the dip, always keep some powder dry.
Oh, preach.
Yeah.
I learned that lesson the hard way back in the day. Thought I was going to get rich quick on insert specific cryptocurrency ticker. Spoiler alert, I didn't.
We've all been there. FOMO is a powerful drug. But that's why having a plan and sticking to it is so crucial. Decide in advance how much you're willing to risk on any given trade. And don't chase pumps just because everyone else is.
Easier said than done, but definitely solid advice. What else can we do to avoid becoming whale bait?
Another important strategy is to focus on the fundamentals. Do your own research. Understand the technology, the team, the use case. Don't just buy something because it has a cool name or a catchy meme.
Right, remember, a rising tide lifts all boats, but a rug pull sinks them all.
Exactly. And when you invest in projects with solid fundamentals, you're less likely to get shaken out by short-term market manipulation.
So basically, knowledge is power. The more we understand how the market works, the better equipped we are to navigate it. And that includes understanding the dark side, the manipulation, the whales lurking in the depths.
Absolutely. Awareness is key. Don't be naive. Don't assume everyone is playing fair. The crypto market is still very much a jungle. But by being informed and prepared, you can increase your chances of not just surviving, but thriving.
Well said. Big thanks to our expert for shedding light on the shady world of crypto market manipulation. It's definitely a lot to process. Remember, deep divers, forewarned. It's forearmed. So what do you think? Have you ever encountered market manipulation firsthand? What strategies do you use to protect yourself? Hit us up in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going. Of course, if you want more deep dives into the fascinating world of crypto, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Until next time, stay safe out there, deep divers.